Hello and welcome to TOS TV, a digital first Pan-African network. I am Ade Sewell and this is Africa Now. Signatories to a shaky peace deal deemed vital for ending the conflict in Mali met on Thursday in the northern city of Kidal, a former rebel bastion. The city fell to Tuareg separatists in 2012 who captured much of the north of the Sahel state before jihadist group commandeered their rebellion. In a bid to curb the fight in Mali in 2015 signed an accord in Algiers with several rebel groups, a deal viewed as one of the country's few options for escaping the violence. The agreement, among other things, saw rebel militias start cooperating with the army and provides for decentralizing governance in the vast nation of 19 million people. But implementing the deal has been painfully slow. Malian troops only returned to Kidal last year. For example, on Thursday, Algiers Accord signatories gathered in Kidal in their first such meeting in the symbolic city. Diplomats from the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, and Mali's neighbor Algeria also attended. The region's former colonial power, France, the G5 Sahel, a military alliance comprising Burkina Faso, Chad, Mauritania, Niger, and Mali, are due to meet in Chad on February 15 and 16. 2 camps in Ethiopia's Tigray region housing Eritrean refugees have been shot and the occupants relocated, authorities said on Thursday after the United Nations said residents had reported attacks, including by suspected Eritrean troops. The state-appointed Human Rights Commission reported on Thursday that Shimbelba and Hisat had been destroyed. There was a lot of fighting in those areas, not in the camps, but in those areas where the camps are located, he said. Refugees didn't get the necessary services quickly, and also they panicked due to the firing happening around the camps. So they left the camps and Ethiopian Defense Forces sheltered them and escorted them to the nearest towns of Tigray, he said. He said 5,300 refugees had gone to 2 other refugee camps in Tigray. Others were now in Tigray towns or the capital, Addis Ababa. Chris Melse, a UNHCR spokesman, said the agency accorded with the conclusion that the camps were now unsafe, considering the reports of attacks on Hisat and Shimelba, the reports of abductions, destruction, looting, and killing of humanitarian staff. Decision to relocate must be voluntary and movements must be organized in safety and dignity, he said. The Central African Republic says its army, along with Russian and Rwandan allies, has recaptured the western border town of Beloko from rebels, several groups that have controlled most of the country for the last 8 years from an alliance in December and started a rebellion to try to seize power. The recapture of Beloko opens a key supply route that had been blocked since December. The Central African Armed Forces and their Russian and Rwandan allies liberated the town of Baloko, thereby opening the national road to Cameroon, the government said on Facebook. We will therefore ensure the movement of people and goods in both directions on the Bangui-Baloko axis in complete safety, Prime Minister Firmin Ngabada said on Facebook. Police in Madagascar have banned all political rallies in the capital, Antananarivo, ahead of planned protests by the opposition. There are growing concerns in the country over the rate of unemployment and state of the economy. Opposition lawmakers under the banner of Maira Manonja Malagasy for Let's Make Waves Together have demanded the withdrawal of security forces deployed outside the home of former president. They also want the Malagasy Broadcasting System, a television and radio station owned by the former president, to be allowed to operate. Thousands of students in South Sudan failed to sit their final examination in primary schools this week following fresh intercommunal fighting that erupted in parts of Jonglei and Unity states. The 2 areas are controlled by forces loyal to Vice President Riek Machar and have seen a sharp rise in violence over the past weeks that have displaced thousands of people. At least 75,000 candidates are sitting the test this year to determine whether they will go to secondary school. South Sudan's education minister said the examination in Jonglei and Unity states had been cancelled as the government could not guarantee the safety of invigilators in the area. She said several of her staff had been abducted this week in Jonglei and money meant for teachers had been stolen by unknown gunmen. But the opposition says the cancellation of the exams is political and will affect the future of thousands of students. This is your digital first Pan-African network, TOS TV network. You're watching Africa Now. Developments on COVID-19 after the break. Do stay tuned. Thanks for staying tuned. The African Union AU will not be walking away from AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine, but will target its use in countries that have not reported cases of the variant dominant in South Africa, the head of its disease control body said on Thursday. The comment come after South Africa paused the rollout of the vaccine because of preliminary trial data showing it offered minimal protection against mild to moderate disease caused by the new variant dominant in the country. South Africa said on Wednesday it could seek to sell or swap its AstraZeneca shots and will use alternative from Johnson & Johnson to start protecting healthcare workers later this month. John Nkegasong, director of Africa's Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, told the virtual news conference that more work was needed to understand how the AstraZeneca vaccine worked against the fast-spreading variant first identified late last year. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has spoken of his determination to overcome the coronavirus pandemic and to tackle the country's economic challenges. In Thursday evening's State of the Nation address, President Ramaphosa lamented that more than 47,000 people had died from the virus and that nearly 2 million jobs had been lost in less than a year. The rollout of South Africa's vaccination campaign was delayed this week after doubts emerged over the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine against a variant that has spread first in the country. President Ramaphosa said the government was faced with the task of bringing stability in trying times. He said the first priority was defending coronavirus through a nationwide vaccination campaign expected to start in the next few years. Pickup trucks used to transport large numbers of people have been banned in Mozambique's capital, Maputo, as part of measures to halt the spread of coronavirus. The vehicles are known as My Loves, as passengers are packed in so tightly it looks as if they are embracing. They are a common sight in the city as there is a shortage of public buses. Maputo Mayor Enies Comiche said restrictions had also been placed on rickshaw taxis, which should now carry no more than one passenger at a time. He also announced a nighttime curfew from 2100 until 0400, saying the last commuter buses should leave terminals in central Maputo for the city's suburbs or vice versa by 2000. These measures will be enforced until at least 6 March, the mayor said. Away from COVID-19 updates, a second person has died of Ebola this week in the Democratic Republic of the Congo's North Kivu province, the Health Ministry and the World Health Organization (WHO) said in a statement. A 60-year-old woman who died on Wednesday in a district of Biana had a link with the woman who also died after contracting Ebola and was married to a survivor of the previous major outbreak, the statement said. The DRC's Health Ministry has deployed a team to the area and is tracing more than 100 contacts of the two women in the health zones of Biana and Katwa, it said in the statement. Matshidiso Moeti, WHO Regional Director for Africa, stressed on Thursday during a briefing that the UN health body was working in coordination with the DRC's government to prevent the spread of the disease. The emergence of more Ebola cases could complicate efforts to extradite COVID-19, which has infected 23,600 people and killed 681 in the DRC. This is your Digital First Pan-African Network, TOS TV Network. You are watching Africa Now. Still ahead, business and sports. Welcome back. You're watching Africa Now. In business, oil and gas producing countries, including several in Africa, face a multi-trillion-dollar hole in their government revenue as the world cuts back on fossil fuels, according to a report by the think tank Carbon Tracker. It estimates the cumulative total revenue lost by 2040 will be $13 trillion in 2020 dollars. For 7 countries, including Angola, Equatorial Guinea, and South Sudan, the predicted loss is at least 40%. For another 12, including Algeria, Chad, Congo, Gabon, Libya, and Nigeria, it is in the range of 20% to 40%. The report suggests that these countries should be helped to diversify the economies and reduce dependence on fossil fuels. Such assistance would reduce the risk of instability and social unrest, as well as help to curb rising temperatures, it says. And in sports, Egypt's Al Ahly equaled their best ever finish at the FIFA Club World Cup when defeating South American champions Palmeiras after their third place playoff ended goalless. Captain and goalkeeper Mohamed El Shenawi was Al Ahly's hero in the shootout, saving Felipe Melo's penalty to ensure that the African champions won 3-2 in Qatar. There was no extra time at the end of the game, meaning the match went straight to penalties. From the start of the tournament, we all promised that every player will give his maximum effort in order to achieve a good position, El Shenawi said after the game. Thankfully, all our efforts paid off and we managed to win the bronze medal. Al Ahly, who performed credibly in their semi-final against Germany's Bayern Munich to earn widespread praise, enjoyed great support from the stand thanks to Egypt's sizable expatriate community in Qatar. And that is Africa Now on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS TV. For more updates, visit our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Do also follow and like TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS TV Network. I am Adesuwa Osui. Bye for now.